Hello everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back to the One Man Low Council, and welcome to episode 164 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast. Hope everyone is doing swimmingly well today, during this week. It is an early time of the week, and my mind has just gone blank, because that's just what happens. Anyway, hope everyone is doing great. Before we get into any bit of the news, of course, big stories of the day are the fact that AMC has now decided to delay all of their theaters reopening to the end of July, because, of course, many of the studios have decided to delay their films. Other news, of course, Cinemark is starting to enforce, or has added to its policy, that guests will have to wear masks in order to enter into the theater, but once they are sit down at the theater, they will be allowed to take them off. So at the very least, they've confirmed that much. One of my subscribers posted a comment in my most recent video talking about that, saying that Regal apparently has that in their description as well. I imagine AMC will too, but of course AMC had the most controversy because that's just not what the CEO said at the very beginning. But with that all being said, I did want to start off by saying thank you to everyone that has been supporting the Film and Television Preservation Project that I started about a week ago at this point. We have already raised a crap ton of money, so I'll go ahead and, well, first off, let me shout out some people. So Martin Dahl, thank you very much for becoming a member at the Citizen of Asgard level. I very much appreciate that. Oscar Meyer, just dropping in a $2 super chat, says, "Hail Odin, sorry I can't stay, Red was here." Well, Oscar Meyer, very happy to see you still here nonetheless, but I did also want to shout out a couple other people. I'm Bateman has subscribed to the channel. Agol77 has also. Film Lars has also subscribed to the channel. And two people who really helped push us over the edge to finally be able to actually buy some equipment are Vincent207, who donated $5 to the project. He says, "It's one thing to not glorify how the past was. It's another to erase it altogether. Here's a bit of money for the preservation project." So Vincent207, thank you so much. That was just under 24 hours ago. And then 8 hours ago, this was the one that finally put the numbers up there for me to be able to finally pull the trigger on the purchase of the NAS, the storage device, and also the first storage drives as well. The two 10 terabyte storage drives, and that was Gunnar Renee. Shout out to you, good sir, for the $50 donation via Streamlabs, and he says media preservation. So Gunnar, thank you so much. Shout out to you for pushing us over the edge. All of the equipment that has been purchased so far should be arriving by Thursday. So for anyone wondering what it is, for any tech heads out there, it's a Synology 1019 Plus 5-bay. With two 10 terabyte hard drives to start, which should be more than enough for the films that I currently have that I'll be able to back up onto the drive. And of course, any new films that we get throughout the remaining process. But as you can see, right now, with the goal that I had in mind, we are 76.6% of the way there. Anything else that comes in through Streamlabs donations will be going towards movies, will be going towards a new single drive for my computer, so that way I can host a lot of the films as I'm burning them to then transfer to the NAS. And any extra stuff we have after that, of course, we will put towards the project as well. So just an update on that. But I wanted to say, again, thank you to everyone that has been supportive of it. It's a very exciting prospect. Shout out once again to Mr. Roy for sending me a brand new drive for my computer as well. It is decked out to be able to not only do some things faster, but also to handle some 4K titles as well. Which is awesome. So it's going to definitely speed up the process of actually digitizing the films and television that we can start the process on once those drives and once the NAS comes in on Thursday. So I might try and do some vlogging of getting the package and doing maybe a little bit of a setup of it. And yeah, so once again, thank you so much. I put the picture out earlier to show y'all, what we had purchased and also when it is expected to ship. Or rather what we had purchased on Twitter earlier. But once again, thank you to everyone that has been a part of that project. But enough about that. We, of course, are on the One Man Low Council, and that means we got to show our love to the chat. Orange Reviews was here early, and he says, I'm joining memberships tomorrow. Well, thank you very much, Orange Reviews, for becoming a member. I know that you've been a big fan of the giveaways, though, so I just want to confirm that giveaways are not a part of the YouTube memberships, and that's only because YouTube takes 30% of everything, so it doesn't line up to what people pay on Patreon versus on Subscribestar. So it's just the only way to really keep it even. So just keep that in mind. When you do become a member, it means you don't have to tag me anymore. And depending on the level, it means you might have access to the podcast and, of course, get shouted out at the end of every live stream, which is a new perk I've added for anyone that's a $5 or a backer. You get a shout out at the end of every live stream, live at the very end. That has just been added, though. Tina Bojan, what's going on, Tina Bojan? She says, happy Tuesday, friends. What's going on, Tina Bojan? You mentioned the other day, another stream, that you have some connections with Lenovo. I think that me and you need to have a conversation about my Lenovo situation. I think I mentioned it before, but I don't know if I'd ever seen your response. Waiting for Nerdrotic. What's going on? My modern major general says, hello, chat. Stealing Starbucks Wi-Fi. Well, thank you for being here, Laura. Great to see you here as well. Father Christopher Miller says, I posted a comment about an hour ago to be first, and it's not here. Well, that's just the way that YouTube is. YouTube likes to not put all of the chats up there and likes to skip chats and likes to get rid of them. It's very, very sad. It makes me a very sad person. It makes me a very sad all-father to see that happen, Father. So trust me. Trust me, I feel the pain. Baxter, who's a member on the channel, says, hello, everyone. Hope y'all are having a good day so far. Baxter, hope you're having a wonderful day so far as well. I actually had a pretty productive day myself. I did a little bit of reading. So as you all know, I am a theology teacher at the high school level. And one of the things I teach is not only moral theology, but also the sacraments. And so I was beefing up on a book that's actually very interesting. It's written by a religious sister, and it's about the priesthood and why it's reserved specifically for men in the Catholic Church. And it's interesting to hear a sister's perspective on it in a defense of the church's teaching. So we're not going to get into all of that. It's not a religious stream today, but I just wanted to mention I did about 3 hours of reading, which for me is insanely long. But it was easy because I had both the puppies on the orange couch that you used to see in the background at the old house. At the old house, really. And whenever there are, two sleepy puppies on you, it's just easy to sit there and just keep on reading. So, Baxter, hope you're having a great day. The K-Man is here saying, what up, YouTubers? Just dropping in for a few seconds to say hi. Hope all is well. The K-Man is not just a member on YouTube. He's also one of my D-Laugh fam as well. Tina B, the Empress of the Universe, one of my Valkyrie, says, evening all. Smash that like button on your way in, please. Smash that like button. And as she has said, yes, indeed, if you have a comment or a question, you can either super chat, donate via Streamlabs. Just know that anything via Streamlabs goes directly to the film project for the next couple weeks, really. But if you don't want to super chat, that's fine too, because I do read the live chat. However, that means I do usually fall behind about 20 or 30 minutes. So don't spam. Don't post your comments multiple times. There's usually not a need for that. Sometimes YouTube will skip, and then I will tell you, hey, some comments were skipped. And if you've been paying attention, then you'll know, oh, my comment was skipped, and it happened during this time frame that Odin just explained. So just be on the lookout and listen out for that. But if you plan to come in, and leave, and post the same thing multiple times, I would say nay to that. All right, I would say nay to that. So just type Odin question, though. All one word, Odin question. It highlights orange on my end, and it lets me know you're trying to get my attention. Otherwise, if you're a member on the channel, as long as you're not tagging anyone else in your comment gets read automatically. It's one of the perks of being a member. We got Mike Jackson in the chat. We got Hyperin X13 here as well. Once again, Tina B is here. Josue Vagia is in the chat. Golden Ration in the chat as well. Eric Peralta says, hey, Odin, how's it going? It's going just fine. Hope your day is going all right. Stream Elements apparently is running. We got member Bruce, newest member Bruce in the chat. What is going on to you, good sir? How are you doing? Very, very, very much so. As Larry donates $1.50 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Please enjoy, of course, the gif of Willow being really cute, upside down. Always love to see those. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Could have been a super sticker, but with the way that OBS is set up, I can't tell until I see it in the chat, unfortunately. But again, hail to Bruce and hail to Father, both members right next to each other in the chat themselves. Seth Williams, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. All right, the chat, of course, has already jumped on me because that's just how crazy things are already. And we only have 52 people in here, but please smash that like button because the numbers might not be large, but the quality of the people in Asgard is phenomenal. The Asgardian community is amazing. It's the friendliest community that you will ever find. You can have great conversations with so many people in the chat right now, and as long as you're not an asshat, you're right at home. You're right at home. Also, Orange Hat Reviews, I just got a notification that you've pledged $5 via Patreon. So you must really like those giveaways, man, is what I'm gathering from that, unless that's old or something. But thank you very much for becoming a Patreon member. I appreciate you. Let's see. Waiting for Nerdrotic Laura, apparently, is tired of California because apparently they're starting to go backwards now. They're starting to go backwards. They were opening things up, and now they're starting to close things again. And yeah, New York and LA, they are not only the hotbeds of the virus, but they're also what's causing a lot of the chaos across the rest of the country because for some reason people think, oh, well, if we can't do it in New York or LA, then we can't do it anywhere. That seems to be the logic because one of the many reasons why theaters are not opening early is because, oh, well, we can't open in these major centers like New York and LA, and so therefore, hey, why should we open in Tennessee or why should we open in other areas where people are ready to see theaters, or rather ready to see movies and actually can see movies? It's ridiculous. But she says fudge that state. Seth Williams is in the chat. What's going on, good sir? Blake Hemlow is in the chat. What's going on, Slicer Neons? Not sure if I got you already. Aiden Vickery, who's a member on the channel. What's going on? Soul Assassin, what is going on, good sir? Glad to see you here as well. All right, he's starting to catch up to some things. Member Forever Sci-Fi is on the channel as well. He says, hello, hello, hello. Waiting for Nerdrotic says, California's government is full of a bunch of soft-headed moose milkers. Yes, if you paid attention to the Chosen of Valhalla stream the other day, you would have heard that apparently you can milk a moose and that there is moose cheese. If you want more information, check out that stream. It should still be live on the channel. Hardwick Bentho is in the chat. What's going on, Hardwick? He says, I saw a notification that you watched The Adventures of Robin Hood on Asgardian Movie Morning. What are your thoughts on it? Also, does watching while on stream lessen your enjoyment? I would say that it depends on the film and depends on what's going on. There have been times in the past when technical issues have made me not enjoy a film, but luckily the stream went perfect. Not a lot of people were spamming the chat. They were just letting the film happen. Tina, of course, because she loves the movie, was adding in some fun facts every now and then. So it was a very chill stream, and it was a lot of fun. And I love the film. I gave it a solid A. It's a solid film all around. Only really a couple of minor technical issues with a couple of shots, but only something that if you're really paying attention to and really looking for will you find, or just have a keen eye for that kind of stuff, or just really paying attention to it, you can see. But other than that, it's fantastic, and I loved it. So, yeah, fantastic film. Alice McCarthy, as a member, says, howdy, Odin, how's it going? Any news on Artemis Fowl 2 or RIPD 2? Well, let's hope and pray that that never happens, because both of those films are complete trash. Waiting for Nerdrotic says, so I'm going to watch Greatest Showman, There Will Be Blood, and Robin Hood. Anything else I should add to the list? Well, if you've never seen Dirty Harry, you may have been there during the Dirty Harry stream, I think. That was a great film that we watched recently. Also, Kelly's Heroes was fantastic as well. So those are the ones that are coming to the top of my head. Also, of course, you mentioned, I think, Whiplash. You had seen that finally. Nightcrawler is always a great option as well. Take Shelter is an oddball, but it's a good one. It's about someone that seems to be going crazy. He builds an underground shelter because he's seeing things that other people don't see. But then the movie progresses and you're like, ooh, there might be more to the story. Mirror Jeremy says, hail. Hail to you, good sir. Hardwick says, Doomcock's latest rumor claims that Kathleen Kennedy plans to leave Lucasfilm to start her own female-exclusive production company. Again, rumors are rumors. All hail Lord Doomcock. We'll see what happens. But just remember, we had rumors at one point that Kathleen Kennedy was going to be gone 2 years ago, so we always take rumors with a grain of salt. But that's one of the things that I love about people like Doomcock, is that he always makes very clear, hey, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. Let us see here. Father Christopher Miller, who's a member, says, okay, going to have to pop off for a bit. Need to reboot my router. Big time lag right now. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Father. Hopefully the reboot fixes the issue. Hopefully that fixes everything that's going on wrong right now. Mech1164 says, what formats will you be using for the NAS files? So if you mean what type of file will it be for the movies and shows, I plan on uploading those as ISO files, as disk image files, with the mindset being it has the entire film, the menu, the special features, everything all together. And if for any reason a studio decides, hey, yeah, we're just going to blacklist this movie and no one's going to get access to it, and we're going to, hunt down all the obviously this is a very, 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 worst case scenario. I'll have the the ISO image, I'll have the disk image file backed up and saved so that we can, allegedly allow people to have access to it. So if that's what you mean, then that is what it is. If you mean what type of file system, I know that Synologies have a certain file type. I think I'm just going to go with whatever the standard file is. It starts with a B, I think. But again, I am not really an expert when it comes to that kind of stuff. But Mech1164, hopefully that answered your question. By the way, Aiden Vickery, who's not only a member on the channel, has now also just donated with an amazing GIF, leading to another amazing GIF. So I always love the epic one of the guy looking, doing the nod, and then, of course, the little one of Willow. Thank you for the $62 donation via Streamlabs. Thank you so much for that. Says, nobody is promised tomorrow, but we will have our yesterdays. Save our films, Odin. Boom, Aiden Vickery. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for that. Again, because that is via Streamlabs, that will go towards that project. So yes, indeed, thank you so much for that, and it will. And that is my ultimate plan. Again, I have a lot of the films that have been recommended. You should see a link being dropped throughout the stream tonight that leads to a Google form, where if you have any recommendations on films or TV shows that you think should be preserved. Now, again, these aren't things you're like, oh, this is my favorite and I want it to be preserved. It's mostly going to be meant for. And again, the main reason for it is to go after those shows and films that have the potential to be either altered, edited, deleted altogether, canceled altogether. Again, film and television that fits that criteria, that's the kind of recommendations I'm looking for. A lot of the things that we've gotten so far have been really good. We've gotten a lot of great responses. Right now I've gotten about, 40 responses or so with a lot of great films, many of which I still own. Some of them I question whether or not they are really problematic or whether they're at risk, but I think that we'll kind of dive into that once the drive gets here. What we'll do is I'll have a list up, and then we can kind of go through it saying, okay, what should we prioritize over the others? But luckily I do have a lot of the films, at least a lot of the mainstream films that have been mentioned. Like, for example, Tropic Thunder, I know for sure, definitely is going to need to be backed up. Films like Blazing Saddles, pretty much anything by Mel Brooks. I luckily have a Mel Brooks collection. The one that's more difficult is because I don't have a lot of television, is a lot of the television shows. And of course, many people have already said Dukes of Hazzard. So that's something I'm going to have to eventually hunt down to be able to find those and preserve those. And other shows that potentially could also be seen. Monty Python's shows obviously listed there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of good recommendations. And once the actual drives and system gets here on Thursday and I get that set up, my first plan is to go through and say, okay, I know these are the films at the top priority. So the Mel Brooks films, obviously, Tropic Thunder, obviously. I already have Gone with the Wind backed up. I just need to put it onto the server itself. Right now it's sitting on my local hard drive, which is one of the reasons why I might need to update my local, because it's only a terabyte and I have a lot of stuff on there. And if I'm uploading a lot of things or ripping a lot of things, I want to have enough space to store that while I'm waiting for things to transfer over, because I don't know exactly how fast it's going to transfer over, since I've never dealt with this specific NAS before. But again, there is a link that my Valks will be posting. Heimdall should be posting it as well for recommendations. But Aiden Vickery, dude, thank you so very much for the $62 donation, man. I appreciate it. And because that is indeed going towards Streamlabs, let us see. We're at $828, 82.8% of the way there. So thank you so very much for that. And again, anything else at this point is going to be going towards either getting another drive for the NAS or getting, again, a new drive for my computer to be able to hold, kind of like be a holdover space for it while it's being burnt onto, or even like a slight backup, you could even argue, while it's being transferred over, or potentially also for some other things that could be used, like, for example, buying this media that I'm going to have to eventually hunt down. Luckily, I found recently a really great used movie book store that will probably actually have a lot of these things and a lot of these titles, especially television. So I'm hoping that I can just bring a list and be like, all right, let's go shopping and see what we can find. That's my ultimate plan and ultimate goal. So Aiden Vickery, thank you so much for that. Blake Hemlow says, do you think Hollywood as a whole is standing on its last legs, if you know what I mean? Kind of. I mean, really, it's. I mentioned this in my video today where, okay, so the studios have been delaying, and now the theaters are delaying. Eventually, one of them's going to have to stick. You know, eventually the theaters are going to have to reopen so that there is a place to show movies. Because if you don't have a place to show movies, then guess what? The studios have no place to go. But then at the same time, if the theaters don't open, or rather if the studios don't want to release their movies, if they don't plan to give access to the theaters that are open, then it doesn't work that way either. So yeah, it's not looking good for the film industry, both in exhibition, whether it's with AMC, Regal, etc., or in the production side of it as well. Because also, you've of course got the BBC reporting, oh, we can't, in the current state of things with the things that are being asked of us for social distancing, etc., we can't make the show, which I think many former Doctor Who fans would say that's a good thing. Why go ahead and stop while you're ahead with this modern iteration of the Doctor? But Hollywood's definitely in a precarious situation overall. But the sad truth is they've got millions and millions, and many of them, especially the producers, probably have millions in offshore accounts. So sadly, I think they'll be okay, and that I think unfortunately they'll survive. The ones that are the worst of the bunch. Tina B says, so Brie Larson is in the chat and gave us a thumbs down, or Tessa Thompson, or Kathleen Kennedy, or some asshat. Yes, could be someone that I got into a fight with in my comments section, who just came in and was like, hey, remember this argument from 3 days ago that had nothing to do with you? I'm going to bring it up again. Oh, thanks. Bring it up with that guy. It has nothing to do with me. Mirror Jeremy says, I've been cleaning my room since I'm moving now. I know what films I have and what films I need to collect. Nice, Mirror Jeremy. That's awesome. Yeah, that's why I can't wait to be able to actually see, okay, here are the films I have. My plan is also, I have a website. It's very, very simplistic right now. It used to be where I would do box office tracking and give you opportunities to leave reviews for films without your reviews being taken down. It was meant originally to be a Rotten Tomatoes alternative. Just everything kind of fell apart because of time and just lack of knowledge. But luckily, I'm very well versed now on, being able to digitize media, which is why I went full bore with this project. But I can still use the website that I established. It's OMB Reviews. .home.blog. I know it's a mouthful. Eventually, I might have to buy the actual, internet address itself to be something simple like ombreviews.com. But for right now, it's ombreviews.home.blog. And my plan is to have a page there, a tab there about the Film Preservation Project, and then have it be where there's a list of films and television that is being looked for. Have like a section dedicated to what I'm looking for, have a section to dedicated to what I have, like what has been digitized, and then maybe have a section where it's in the process or I have it, but I just haven't done it yet. So that's the next step that I plan to do once I get everything kind of going, get a system going with trying to digitize everything. Saizo Neon says, if you teach moral philosophy, who teaches amoral philosophy? I see what you did there, Slicer. We would argue that there shouldn't be one. Forever Sci-Fi says, I've been reading the AMA style guide. It's thrilling, and I can't wait to see how it ends. I see what you did there. Are you trying to say that reading philosophy and theology is as boring as reading the style guide? That's harsh, man. That's mean. That's very, very mean. Waiting for Nerdrotic says, now I want spam. Well, you go ahead and eat it. Hardwick says, Elon Musk and Ivanka Trump recently used the term red pilled, so Lily would. So I don't. I choose not to. So Mr. Wachowski slammed their usage of it and claimed that The Matrix was always meant as an anti-capitalist movie, as it made money, which completely ruins their argument. Hey, Wachowski brothers, because guess what? Sorry, you can't change your biology. Hey, Wachowski brothers, guess what? Did your film make money? Good. Then you cannot make the argument that it's an anti-capitalist movie. Your argument is now completely invalid. So anyway, HyperNex13, my brother, why are you reading? That's very good to hear. Good to see you. Have you and Freya still thought of the idea of Chat Jumped on Me t-shirt? Yeah, so I have a whole series of ideas for shirts. That I've given to Freya, and she's just looking for a way to be able to get them in the design process. She's already got one for Bob the Midichlorian that I actually love. She made a really cute looking midichlorian. And it's fantastic. But she does the plan to make a couple of the other designs that I sent her way too. So that might be one of them. I can't remember for sure. I'm pretty sure I did. Tina Bojan, actually, sorry, Larry, thank you for the $1.50. That is the phallic unicorn. So thank you very much for the phallic unicorn, Larry. As I say Larry's name, say his name and he'll appear. He's just donated now $72 via Streamlabs donations, getting, of course, the cute Willow gif as well. Holy crap, man. Thank you so much. Larry, you've been very generous with this one. And yeah, as you said, you say getting close, good luck. And let's see where you've put us. You've put us right even at $900, 90% of the way, with still 22 days to go. So thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate your love. I just appreciate your support, and everyone, again, who has been so very supportive of that project. So thank y'all so much for that. Tina Bojan in the chat says, yes, please confirm the model of your laptop, Lenovo 730 Yoga. My husband mentioned having to check if it's easily feasible to open and replace the cable in the Yoga models. Yeah, so it is the Lenovo Yoga 730. So Tina Bojan, I don't know if we have contacted over Twitter or Discord. I know you're in the Discord. So message me, and then after the stream, I'll be able to actually confirm the details of it. Because if there's a way that I can do that where I can just get one part and then it's fine. It's a great computer, except for the fact that the screen flickers because of that nonsense. So Tina Bojan, thank you very much for your help. And ever since you mentioned that, I was like, ooh, that's actually something that I do need some help and some advice on. Thank you. By the way, we've got Darkstar57, Randy, who's in the chat. Randy was not able to make it, sadly, on Sunday's Chosen of Valhalla stream. But if you follow me on Twitter, the shirts are finally ready. Hashtag DuckFisney is indeed now ready to go mainstream. And so I had one of the shirts ready just in case, even if you weren't going to be in the chat tonight. But here is the design and the shirt. Boom. So as you can see right there. Boom, baby. I love it. I love it. So it's a little harder to see on the darker shirts, but also let me just say that this is that nice, I guess it's the tri-blend. I'm not exactly sure what the specifics are, but it's the nice soft texture, so the shirt feels extremely comfortable. I was wearing it the other day, actually. But on there it says, my name is Duck, Fisney Duck. And the way, of course, he has the letters designed is very, very clever to fit into the hashtag DuckFisney, which, of course, remains PG for the channel. And so that's why I appreciate it. So shout out to you, Darkstar57, for getting the shirt made. He's currently working on a website where you'll be able to purchase your own. He's also sent me some gift certificates to give away once that goes live. So stay tuned for more. As soon as I get that information, I, of course, will pass it along. Because I love the shirt design so very much. I just love the duck alone holding the gun. It's just clever. It's just a very, very clever shirt, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So welcome, Darkstar57. Glad to see you here. Dean Heiss is in the chat. What is going on, good sir? And as, of course, I mentioned Dean Heiss, the chat has now jumped on me, as, of course, it always does. As it always does, which is why it should be a shirt. But speaking of which, let me go ahead and show some love to my DLive fam, because they've just been ignored for far, far too long. So let's see who we got over here in the DLive chat. We got Phonemo, we got Captain K-Man, the K-Man, Captain Mr. Roy, shout out again, Captain Mr. Roy, for sending that drive. Again, it's been working wonders so far. I still want to play around with it even more so to see if I can get any faster on a couple of the other things that I was doing. He says, so Captain K-Man is in the chat. Captain Dean Heiss says hello as well. He also says, time for a haircut, getting kind of shaggy. Yes, I'm still waiting for the wound on the back. It's not really a wound anymore, but basically I'm just waiting for it to heal up more fully until it's not a bump that I can feel anymore. And then at that point, I plan to shave for the rest of the summer. So that is my ultimate goal that I have there. So Cam Dean Heiss, I will be trying my very best to get that done, because I know how much everyone loves and has been shocked by the bald head. Captain Darkstar57 is also now over on DLive as well, celebrating an 11th month sub streak. So Captain Darkstar57, thank you so very much for not just being a subscriber on DLive, but also for doing so for 11 months. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Looks like we've got some trolls in the chat that have been taken care of by Will Gentry. Thank you so much, Will Gentry, who is a mod over there. You've been doing awesome. Captain Will Gentry says, damn, all I've done so far tonight is ban people from the channel. Well, thank you so much for being there to do that, man. Really does mean a lot. So Captain Will Gentry, one of the mods over there, taking care of it. I'm assuming that they are the typical Turkish trolls that for some reason always find my chats, and I'm sure other chats as well, which is why I tend not to read names of people that become followers over there, because I actually made it so that only followers could post things, which means that they have to follow in order to post something, which I thought, oh, that will maybe help with it, but then they still do it nonetheless. It's ridiculous. Captain High says, I just completed downloading all 7 seasons of Dukes of Hazzard from Amazon using Play On. Ooh, Captain Heist, that's awesome, man. That's actually a good thought. Though part of me, I think, is still going to try and find some DVD sets. I don't know if they've ever made Blu-ray sets of that, just so that I have, again, the full features with any special features. Again, just to have every single thing in the highest quality possible as well, because that is also very, very, very important. All right, so we got another person asking for support, so you're gone. I'll take care of that. Don't worry, I know that you have a lot going on over there, dude. Let us see. Philly the Hobbit, yeah, spammers, please stop. Whenever I see that there's over 10 people watching, it's usually a bunch of spammers who just can't stop, so very sorry for everyone on DLive having to deal with that nonsense tonight. Captain Biffy 10, and what's going on, good sir? Glad to see you here. Glad to see all of you here in the chat. Let us see. Captain Darkstar57 just donated a diamond, saying you are welcome, good sir. Yes, thank you again for the shirt. It is awesome. Captain Will Gentry says, yeah, the first thing I saw when I came here was a Turkish flag, instant ban, quickly followed by 2 more spammers. That's pretty much how it works here. Captain Biffy Tannen says, Odin will build a wall to keep the Turks out. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's so bad because every time I'm on the Tuesday and Saturday streams and we have these issues on DLive, it makes it sound like I hate Turkey, but I don't. It's just that for some reason, all of the spammers over on DLive, they just love posting random things either in Turkish or just to post the Turkish flag. I've banned several versions of the flag just to try and stop the people from doing that. And of course, it looks like, based on the fact that my numbers on DLive are growing, that they're sending the word around. So you might have to be dropping the hammer several more times on the channel. So again, very, very sorry indeed to everyone that's normally on DLive, where it's normally nice and chill and normally nice and happy over there. Captain Will Gentry says, I'll leave for 15 seconds and another one pops up. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. All right, so I'm now caught up over on DLive, so good luck over there to all the people with the hammers. Captain Adam, glad to see you in the chat, man. Help out Will Gentry, both of y'all, because there apparently are a bunch of trolls over in the DLive tonight. All right, jumping back over into the YouTube chat. D Nice says, hello, YouTube chat. What's going on, good sir? He's a member on the YouTube channel as well. Father Christopher Mille is back. Larry says, welcome. Welcome. James, thank you very much for the $1 donation via Streamlabs. Thank you very much for donating via Streamlabs. Says, do you think movie theaters will die if they keep delaying the reopening? Many will. So AMC is planning to open, 450 theaters out of its 650 here in the States, or 650 out of the 850. I forget the exact number on that. In fact, I think I have an article, or I had an article pulled up that had that information. But anyway, they plan to open up the vast majority of their theaters, but I think that the theaters that they're not opening up, I would not be surprised if there's a good chunk of them that never reopen. And you look to AMC, Regal, Cinemark, I think all of the major chains, you're going to see theaters that they're just going to have to shut down because of the fact they've lost so much money, and it's probably going to be in markets that are lower volume, which means, unfortunately, if it's in an area where there's just not as many people, so not a major city, you might be losing some theaters there. Hopefully the mom and pops can stay open, not that they get the newest releases right away or have the greatest priority in the eyes of the studios. Luckily, local communities can do a lot more to help and support those people than the major chains that have to worry about a lot more overhead usually. So yeah, you're going to see the end of a lot of theaters, I think. Do I think that movie theaters overall are going to die? No. I think that there's still going to be theaters open, but as I said before the pandemic, I said movie theaters as being what they are now, to the extent, like with the box office meaning so much, I said that had maybe 10 years left in it. Post all of this stuff with COVID, I would say it's easily within 5 years now, where eventually just the again, box office numbers are going to mean very little. There's going to be a huge move to on-demand. You're already seeing the streaming wars happen, HBO Max, Disney Plus, etc. You're going to start to see a lot more original films going straight to HBO Max, going straight to Disney Plus, and there's just going to be a new way of marketing. And this is what I've said from the beginning. What's going to happen is you're going to have all the streaming services, and then what Disney or HBO is going to do is they're going to say, hey, we have a brand new Disney or a Marvel or a DCEU film for you, and you have to have our service. You have to have HBO Max or Disney Plus. But also, because it's a new release, if you want access to it, you got to pay a $10 surcharge. That way, not only do they get your money from your subscription, but then you have to pay a premium for new content, for high-tier new content. That is going to be the future. And I think that future is now going to be sped up much more quickly because of what's currently going on. Because studios aren't making really any money except from subscription fees, which, according to some Disney Plus, apparently some say Disney Plus numbers are down. Obviously HBO Max is very limited because it's still not available on Roku, still not available on Amazon Fire. So there's a huge chunk, 70% of streamers who use either platform don't have access to it. So it's a crazy situation overall. So it's going to be a weird future. And once the theaters do actually reopen, though, that I think is going to be the next major thing, because imagine what's going to happen once theaters reopen. Imagine when they're telling people, oh, you have to wear a mask. Are they going to strictly enforce it? How are they going to enforce it? If someone says, no, I don't want to, are they going to have to hire security? Are local police going to have to be involved? And it would be ironic that local police would be probably more involved in forcing people to wear masks than they would in stopping the damn protest. And not even the protests, the riots. Right? Because peaceful protests are fine, but we're seeing kind of a mixture of the both right now. But it's a crazy time to live in right now, and I really do think that movie theaters are definitely in danger, and they don't have a very long lifespan left. So to answer the question, James, hopefully that got to it. All right, back to the YouTube chats. Larry says, like the like button, yes, and please smash that like button, please. Absolutely. It's the very least you can do. It is for free to do so, and also it helps out the channel. We have 73 people watching, which is about normal for us, so smash that like button, share it if you want as well, and engage in the conversation. Have conversations with each other, have conversations with me, but if you want to have a conversation with me, you can just put Odin question, all one word, in the YouTube chat. It'll highlight orange on my screen, letting me know that you want my attention. You can, of course, also donate via Streamlabs or via Super Chat. I recommend via Streamlabs, though, because it helps out creators much more than YouTube, because YouTube takes 30% of everything, whether it's subscriptions or Super Chats or whatever. Only really processing fees are taken out of anything given through Streamlabs, and also anything donated through Streamlabs right now goes towards the Film and Television Preservation Project that I'm currently working on. And because of the tremendous generosity of people like Larry, Aiden Vickery, and then earlier in the day, Gunnar Renee, we are at about, 90% of the way there? Yep, so we're at $901, so 90.1% of the way to the initial goal that I had. Super Anime Gamers in the chat saying, "Hey, what is up, my dude? What is going on?" Super Anime Gamer, glad to see you in the chat. Larry's a member, says, 1% may get sick, shut it all down. Yeah, exactly. Larry is definitely a lot more cynical about this. If you've been a part of the chat, you know that Larry is very passionate about it, and I respect his passion. I disagree with him on certain fronts with it, but I'm in that middle, right? I'm definitely in that middle where I think there's a lot of hysteria out there that I think is being perpetuated by the media, especially. But at the same time, too, I do think that this is definitely a virus that exists, that does pass very easily, that can cause issues and complications. Again, my own doctor confirmed that an 8-year-old died with no pre-existing conditions from complications with it. So it is just like a flu where, hey, the flu kills people every single year too, right? The difference with this one is that it is much more easily spread at this point. And of course, also, we don't have a vaccine for it yet either. So I am still in that middle ground where I say, hey, if you feel at risk, or if you think that you're around people who are at risk and you want to be safe and you want to wear masks, hey, please go right ahead and do so. But when it comes to governments forcing people to wear masks and trying to implement that type of stuff, that's when I get a little bit standoffish, right? And I'm much more libertarian on a lot of things, and I don't like when government overreaches, if that makes sense. Sorry for any political talk, by the way, but of course this does actually play into one of the themes, which is movies being delayed in Hollywood, being out of ideas right now. Not only just in the creative lack of ideas, but also, are they going to release their films or not? What is the plan, Hollywood? Are you just going to let the theaters die? Are you just going to say, oh yeah, go ahead and die. Let's let the biggest source of our income go away so that we can go completely video on demand? Because I don't think you're ready for it yet. 5 years from now, yeah, I think that you'll be there. But not right now. Not right now. Blake Emler says, it's great to be here tonight with everyone in the chat. Glad to see you here, man. Forever Sci-Fi, who's a member, says they can't get away with sending sick people to nursing homes this time around. Yeah, I remember hearing that report. And that is just, that ticks me off, right? And, for any local authority, major authority, who makes that decision to say, oh yeah, let's send people that are sick to be around people that are the most susceptible, anyone that does that, I think there should be a lawsuit in that person's future. Forever Sci-Fi says, must be good cheese for someone to risk milking a moose. Yeah, seriously. That milk moose. All right, that moose cheese, and that moose milk, that must be what Abby was having in order to get all those gains in The Last of Us Part 2. Eric Peralta says, how do you feel about Peacock, the new universal streaming service? That's kind of like the practical joke of the streaming service community, because it's not really offering a whole lot right now. I know very little about it, to be perfectly honest. and it's one of the few services that I probably will never get. If it comes out and says, hey, we're going to have all of these awesome Universal Classic titles, maybe then it could entice me. But as of now, it just, I don't even know what they offer, to be perfectly honest. And I don't even think that they're really a legitimate source of competition for the HBO Maxes and Disney Pluses of the world. Larry says, it's a mad, mad, mad world. That's another movie that I actually do need to see. Indeed. Slicer Neon says, why never take a grain of pepper? I'm a pepper. You want to be a pepper too? What in the world are you talking about, Slicer? That is some nonsensical talk right there. Larry says, I've dropped a few movies and TV shows on your G sheet for saving on the NAS. Thank you, Larry, for that. I appreciate you very much. And yeah, I can't wait to. What's great about using Google is that eventually, when I think that enough recommendations are in, I mean, I can do this at any time, but I'm going to wait until, a few more days pass. And of course, once the NAS gets set up, is that I can then turn that into an Excel sheet, which means then I can try and see if I can get it ordered by title, eliminate duplicates, things like that, and then actually print it out, and then actually go into, my local McKay's. The McKay's is the used Blu-ray store that I showed y'all in a video from the last couple weeks. And I can just have my sheet in there and say, all right, do we have this? Do we have this? Do we have that? And yeah, be able to kind of check those things off the list and get them and digitize them. And of course, I'm going to research to see, okay, what versions do we have? Is it on DVD? Is it on Blu-ray? What year was it released? Is there anything, like any known changes that were made on certain releases? Because that's obviously also going to be incredibly important, is have there been any edits made to any of the products that we have so far? Chaos. Hoy. What's going on? See that new name in the chat. Welcome. Harwick says, Winona Ryder recently said they were filming Bram Stoker's Dracula. Coppola had the cast yell horror at her to make her cry for one scene. Keanu Reeves and Anthony Hopkins refused. Okay, that's a random thought right there. Soul Assassin says, did you hear the rumor of Disney going to use The World Between Worlds to remove the sequels from canon? It sounds like an easy cop-out that could be overused and mistreated. Yeah, I've heard this rumor, and I know that it's coming from people that I like. It's coming from people that I'm fans of, from channels that, again, I forget which channel specifically broke that one. But once again, that is a rumor. And to me, it just does not line up with what we've seen from Disney so far. What I think likely is happening is that you're having either one of two things. One, you're having Disney, strategically release random rumors to try and gin up anger, frustration, YouTube videos, etc., to get more attention, to get more traffic, and basically trying to use it as, hey, any press is good press. Two, you could also see them putting information out there to see, hey, would fans like to see this? How would this sell? Or three, it's false information that's being leaked for them to try and find out who's been leaking information. So I think it's one of those few options, more so than anything else. Jeremy Zukowski, welcome to the chat. That's a new name that I don't often see, so welcome to the chat, good sir. Hope you are doing very, very well. Again, if you have a comment or question in the general chat on YouTube, just type Odin question, all one word. Odin question, all one word. It highlights orange, lets me know you're trying to get my attention. One exception, of course, is if you are a member on the channel, because then you show up as green, and then it lets me know that, hey, I'm going to read your comment no matter what, unless I see it starts off with tagging someone else, because then I see, hey, you're having a conversation with somebody else instead. Anyway, Larry, who's a member, says, Monty Python is a given. Absolutely. I already have Holy Grail, and I have Life of Brian. And something tells me, though, that it's their shows that will likely need more attention than their movies, to be honest. Because from everything I've heard, I think their shows are what's more likely to be censored than anything else. And what is one good thing about Monty Python is that you do have someone that was a very active member of Monty Python who's been very vocal about all of this cancel culture nonsense. And something tells me that he has probably some backups, probably has his own library of the films. So something tells me that that's probably protected. But of course, I will definitely be putting those into the queue of things to find. Aiden Vickery says, hopefully there is a small donation in your PayPal via Streamlabs for the Film Preservation Project. Aiden Vickery, yes, indeed, it popped up, and I got it. That was at 7:19 at 7:49 where I am, so yeah, that should line up. I don't think there was a second one. Tina says, also need to suggest Boris Karloff's series as Mr. Wong, the detective from the 30s, an Englishman playing an Asian. Gasp, shock, thought of it because of a YouTube airing it. Yeah, that's a very good point. So again, if you want to add that to the list, again, that is, of course, available. It's going to be posted throughout the night. Bruce says, Odin, you'll have to save Animal House for sure. If it's on my list, definitely seems like one that would seem to make a lot of sense, for sure. Soul Assassin, Odin's making a list. Odin's making a list. He's checking it twice. Gonna find out which movie to save. Odin Claus is coming to save the movies. That didn't work at all. Hardwick says, most of Mr. Wong movies starring Boris Karloff, but Karloff was replaced in the last one by Chinese-American actor Key Luke, who also played number one son in Charlie Chan movies. Stephanie B says, hey there, Chief. Why are you starting beef? Stephanie B, welcome to the chat, my general. The general of my Valkyries. Hope you are doing very well. Tina B says, yep, just mentioned to Odin about the series. YouTube cult movie site is airing one of the movies tonight. That's very nice. Great to see other sites and other places that are a part of this as well. It would be really cool to actually, once I get a lot of this stuff stored, to find out kind of like what legal stuff could I do to like air it or to, do something like that. But again, that's down the line. Let's get the stuff in there. Let's get it stored, get it backed up, get all that stuff going, get a system going, and then find out, okay, just how much can we actually get away with? Because I already know if I own the media myself, which is why, again, I'm planning on buying the DVDs, buying the Blu-rays themselves, most likely from used in the cases of a lot of these shows and movies that might already be blacklisted by Hollywood. And therefore, it's basically I own this movie, and all I'm doing is digitizing it and putting it onto my own personal server, and that's all they need to know, and that's all the original plan is, allegedly, at the current moment. Father Christopher Miller says, thoughts on whether Disney Plus will crash Friday when Hamilton starts to stream? It could be. Hamilton obviously is one of the most popular shows on Broadway. This one, I believe, features the original cast, so it could definitely get a lot more traction because of it. I never had any interest in seeing it on Broadway, but I'm kind of intrigued to watch it. I'm not a hip-hop music fan, and I'm not a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I just don't like his style in Broadway, because the only shows that I know of that he's done on Broadway would be In the Heights, which featured a lot of hip-hop, and then obviously Hamilton as well. Just really not my genre. It's not something that really, I think, suits or fits the Broadway genre, the musical genre itself. There's some people that swear by it. There's some people that love it. One of my friends who's a history teacher actually likes it a lot because it actually does tell a lot of accurate historical accounts. Obviously, it takes a lot of creative freedom with the concepts and portrayals of the characters, especially. But he also says that it's a good thing to have as kind of a, hey, let's talk about the history of what we have in the books versus what the play actually represents there. So yeah, I'll be interested to see the reviews of it. Bruce says, the Sleepy Willow. Yes, indeed. The Sleepy Willow gif is always fantastic. Larry says, welcome, Odin. Why are you telling me welcome, man? I've been here the whole time. Alex McCarthy says, boom, got 200 hours watch time. Congratulations, Alex McCarthy, for reaching 200 hours of watch time. If you want to check your watch time, all you need to do is put !cookies, all one word, and Heimdall, my bot, will tell you how many digital cookies you have, which you can use on giveaways, and also how many hours you have accumulated as well on this channel. None of the others. Just this one. And the chat's going to jump on me again. But Tina says, I just found I just now found out it was a Disney production when I was watching FX last night. No wonder I had bad vibes about the show. It felt off. Well, there you go. Looks like your Disney senses were tingling there. Indeed. As I saw some Duck Disney stuff going on there. So the chat has jumped on me like it normally does. Looks like someone has already been taken care of in the chat for possibly being a troll. But looks like some comments may have been skipped. But let me just double check and confirm that. That way I can tell y'all where I have been left off. All right, so it is 7:32 in the YouTube chat. It's 7:54 in real life. You do the math on that. So I'm about 20 minutes behind, like I normally am, maybe a little bit more. So please be patient with me. But if you had a comment prior to 7:31 p.m. in the chat on YouTube, and you know it was before then, and you know I didn't read it because you've been here the whole time, then you have my permission to repost it. All right, jumping now over to the DLive fam, who I can only imagine what they have been dealing with since I left with all the trolls that have been coming in there. So let's see. I don't even know where I left off over there because the trolls have just been so crazy. All right. Let's see. Get some water. See, Adam says, as a not supposed to be here person for 36 years now, I usually stay away from people in the first place. Well, there you go. Talking about you being more susceptible to others. Sometimes people self-isolate already on their own. It looks like a lot of trolls may have skipped some comments on DLive, so again, I apologize if anyone's comment got skipped. Adam says, as you know, type 1 diabetic for 36 years on the 4, and I am still here. Boom, baby. Adam fighting strong with one eye, too. Mr. Roy, thank you very much for the diamond donation over there. I appreciate you. Mr. Roy, always so very generous, man. You give too much. And speaking of which, Mr. Roy, I got the package that I have set up for you of the various films. I can't wait to send it to you. You already know 3 of them. The other one is of the same vein, but I wasn't sure if you had it or not. Hopefully you don't have it, though. Either way, if you do have a duplicate, you can give it to a friend, perhaps, or a family member who wants it. But that should be sent out sometime this week. Just need to get it to the postal office. Don't know why I called it the postal office. Adam says, Kaba just woke up. Did Kaba just wake up? Did he really now? Did he really? I don't see him yet. Ah, there he is, Mr. Peabody, finally awake. Finally awake, Mr. Peabody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Camden Heist donated 3 ice cream donations. I appreciate that very much, Camden Heist. You know how much I love my ice cream over here. And it looks like I have caught up with the DLive chat. So thank you, DLive fam, for taking care of it. Again, I see this 22 people watching, and I'm like, I have a feeling that most of those are trolls that are waiting in the wings to type something or do something. So to all of my hammers over there, Adam and Will Gentry, thank y'all for taking care of that tonight. I really do appreciate it. Just as Captain K-Man drops 2 ice cream donations as well. Thank you very much. All right, now jumping back over into the YouTube chat, where once again, I'm about 20 minutes behind. Tina says, he might see your comment, but yeah, be sure to put Odin question. Yes, so always put Odin question if you can. It looks like that may have been a comment that even if I did see it, got skipped in the process. So it's always safe to put the Odin question, though. That's all that I ask. Mark Krell, I see you in the chat. What's going on? Father Christopher Miller, who's a member on the channel, says, Turkish trolls, perhaps the Turkish delight in your wisdom. I'll see myself out. I see what you did there. Tina says, why? What do you have against Turkey? What do they do to you? Do they not make a great meal at Thanksgiving? Oh, turkeys are fantastic. It's the Turkish spammers that are ridiculous. Forever Sci-Fi, as a member on the channel, says, I get Turkish spammers in my PS4 inbox. What is it with Turkey, man? Do they have nothing better to do? Is that just what they do over there? Latino Slant, who's a member on the channel. What's going on, Latino Slant? Says, Odin, I just got here. Who's trolling? I'll arm bar them fools. They're over on my second platform that I stream to simultaneously, DLive. But don't worry, I've got my mods over there taking care of them. Hyperneck13 says, my name's Duck. James Duck. That's a beautiful design t-shirt. Kudos, and no worries on getting angry with the Turkish trolls. As someone who is half Turkish, they ain't real Turks. Yeah, I can imagine that they probably aren't. They're probably a bunch of 9-year-old American sissies doing, random things and thinking, oh, I'm so funny and I'm so cute. When in reality, they're not. They're sad, and I pray for their souls, and I pray that one day they realize how much time they've wasted and how they can make it up. Nana Reaper, who's a member, says, unleash the Mongol horde too to deal with the trolls, or rather to deal with the Turks. I guess that's what I can start calling my mods over on DLive, is the Mongol horde. Though I don't know if that's exactly PC in the modern day and modern times as well. Hardwick, the Edgerton Robin Hood movie went for a socialist take. Ironically, the great 1950s Robin Hood TV show starring Richard Greene didn't, even though it was written by blacklisted commies. Latino Slant says, sucks, man, the death of theaters. It really does. And as you all know, I'm a very big fan of theaters. Obviously, my end game plan is in the next 20 years to at some point build a legit home theater. That way, when the theaters eventually do die, I can still enjoy a nice, big screen, big sound, comfy chair, that kind of thing. But that is far down the line. Aiden Vicker says, 90% after a few days, you're getting better at crowdfunding than EVS. Oh no, I will never be able to match EVS. EVS is still the master at getting the crowdfunding going. No question about it. Just look to the totals he's raised completely on all of the projects he's worked on so far. I just have a lot of love in the chat. I just get a lot of love from my, people from the Asgardian community, especially because, we've had a couple of, I guess you could say fundraisers before, but basically trying to raise money for upgrades to the channel. It's because of the generosity of my Asgardians that I was able to get the legit PC, right? It was because of the generosity where the last one we did was to get an audio upgrade. So to get the interface and to get the microphone, right? So all of those things all come from the generosity of people in the chat, people in Asgard, many of whom are actually already supporting me in other ways, whether it's through Patreon, Subscribestar, etc. So again, from the bottom of my heart, it really does mean a lot, because there's only a few. I think that we live in a world where passion projects have kind of, I think, fallen away from a lot of people, and just to have a passion project now, something that I just enjoy doing. I don't even know why, but it's like putting in a disc and knowing that, hey, I can actually rip the disc and preserve it, and it's now in a perfect digital file. And actually, because I have a DVD, or rather a Blu-ray player on my computer that can play just the file itself as if it was a Blu-ray. Just the fact that technology exists is just so cool. And just to know that now with this server coming in, that I can take movies that are potentially going to get altered in the future on future releases, or deleted in the future, just to have those as a backup, is really cool. I don't know, it's a really cool thing. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get going. Also, it means that I get to do more hunting, and I actually have a reason to do some Blu-ray and movie hunting as well. Because lately there hasn't been a whole lot of stuff that I've been wanting to look up. Larry says, Disney Free Week preview is gone. So that was something that originally they had. Most streaming services have those, and most of them, I feel, do go through periods where they have it, and then it goes away for a little bit. But because of the rumors of Disney's numbers being lower, doesn't surprise me that they are pulling the 7-day trial away. Orange Eye Review says, saw that someone is starting to push not just anti-police movies, but also they want superhero movies gone too. Their ignorance is painful to see. Yeah, I think I saw, maybe it was you or someone on Twitter had posted about that, and it's never going to end, right? That's the problem with the woke crowd. That's the problem with this new, it's not even new, but right, this mutated version of censorship where it knows no bounds. It's never good enough, right? We live in a world now where voice actors are either quitting on their own or are being pressured to quit because the character they're portraying isn't their own actual real life race, which causes so many other issues because basically what that's saying, what the woke crowd is saying is that you have to be representative of the group that you are portraying. If that happens, and if that is the mindset, if that is indeed the philosophy, then that means, oh, if I'm going to portray someone who's a paraplegic, you can't be a non-paraplegic anymore. Which basically means, okay, so now acting is gone? Some might say that's a good thing that acting's gone. But in all honesty, when you start going after things like that, especially when it comes to voice acting, right? Because in voice acting especially, I think that there's a lot of things that you can get away with, and there's just a lot of things that just work very well. And I don't need to see what the people actually look like. And here's the other thing too. I wonder, are they now going to go after the woman that does the voice for Bart Simpson because she's not a man? Again, if we're using the same logic, if you're going to use the same logic, you have to use it evenly. Because if the person who is doing the voice of Cleveland isn't African American, and you're saying, oh, he can't do the voice anymore, or he says, hey, I'm stepping down because of pressure to, then you also have to say the same thing to any female character, any female actress, voice actress, that does male voices, because guess what? It happens a lot. There's a lot of female voice actresses that end up actually doing the voices of male characters. So now, do they not get to? And guess what? If they do, boom, you're a hypocrite. So shut up. And if you are consistent and say, yeah, they do have to, well, then you just fall into lunacy. And that's the reason why we're in this state right now, right? We're getting movies delayed left and right. Movie theaters are in the process of dying even quicker because of that nonsense. And Hollywood is out of ideas. And all that Hollywood seems to be able to do is push forward complete woke crap, support this woke crap, perpetuate it, think they're doing something right, think they're on the right side of history, when all they're doing is feeding the beast. That's causing the chaos, that's causing the damage, that's causing the violence in the country. If Hollywood wanted to do something, if Hollywood wanted to actually be proactive, they would say, just stop. Shut up. Go back to your everyday life. Or how about this, media? Stop filming them, right? How about this? Police, go do your jobs. Hey, mayors, let your police do their jobs. Hey, governors, if you can't handle it with your local police departments, hey, let the National Guard in. Stop it. Put this stuff down. Because this is no longer just we're free speech protesting here. Lives and businesses are being lost. It's all being turned upside down. And at the same time that you have these idiotic celebrities supporting these protests/riots, because they're supporting both of them, the same time that that's happening, you also now have them coming out, the same people saying, you have to wear a mask though, and you have to social distance. If you're not going to do that, which again goes into the same exact thing that they've always done, which is that you have to have right think. Oh, if you don't have right think, then, oh, screw you, right? If you don't believe the same thing we do, then you don't matter. If you do, then you can do whatever you want. It's ridiculous, and it's really starting to get to me because all of this stuff, again, is tying very much into the modern movie culture, the modern Hollywood culture, and it's getting very, very tiresome. It's getting very, very tiresome. Anyway, Tina Bojan in the chat says, oh my, you may need to excommunicate Mr. Gary B as Nerdrotic just started streaming. Well, my problem with Gary in this instance is that this should be his normal nooner. The problem is that his nooner is never on time, and sometimes his nooner is at an ungodly hour. like 3 hours past when it should be. So thank you to the 57 people that are still watching the stream, because Gary does get a lot of people, because Gary's awesome. I love Gary. I love him to death. But good Lord, man, if you say nooner, get it close to noon. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Get out of here. Father says 6:39 Central Time, Gary just went live. That means it is, what, 4:39 his time? What, 4:39 his time that he goes live? Because that would be a 2-hour difference from Central Time. He has nooners that he does every day, or for most days. So that means that he's 4 hours late. At that point, it's not a nooner. At that point, like, come on, man. Especially when, come on. You know I do this stream every single Tuesday at the same time. It's about respect, man. It's about respect. I say nay, nay. I say nay, nay to that. But I still love you, Gary. Even though you yelled at me that one time for no reason. It's okay. By the way, if you've not followed the channel, Perry Chan, he's the one that's been doing all of the amazing memes and videos from Friday Night Tights and everything. He now has his own YouTube channel. It's Perry Chan, or Pierre Chan is how you would spell it. Please go check him out. His stuff is awesome. But I love the work that he's done. But he included the moment where I got yelled at, and just the way he did it was fantastic. Tina B says he kind of tends though to get on one subject. We build off of that. I think he's been talking about COVID destroying theaters. If you have a comment, put so he'll see it. Yes, indeed. So basically, the normal way that I handle these streams is I have basic topics that I like to talk about. These were more general topics. Sometimes there's more specific, where for the beginning of it, I go off on like a 10-minute saying, hey, this is what I have to say about it. And normally that leads to a lot of questions and comments about that specific topic. But again, these days especially, again, the chat kind of controls it. I just ask that the chat stays somewhat on topic. If the chat starts going off on random tangents, sometimes I'm like, dude, really? Or I'll just skip the comment altogether. I don't like skipping comments, but when it's a really random question, no thank you. Latino Slant is a member of the channel, says, by the way, chat, you can call me Paulie. Hail chat. Hail. Paulie, I'll call you Latino Slant because I like it. Larry says, forcing people, I say nay, nay. Exactly. That is not good. That is not good at all, my friends. Not good. Remember also, it's Odin question, all one word. All one word. If you put a space, it's not going to highlight orange, but Seth Williams, you're lucky, because you were next to someone who did do it correctly. So I'll read yours this one time, though. Again, just put it together. Odin question, all together, one word. He says, what do you think releasing Tenet in theaters will affect the future of movie theaters? If they ever release it this year, it's not going to have much of an impact, if I'm perfectly honest. It's going to make some money, because you're going to have a hardcore group of fans that have been wanting to see it for a long time that are going to go see it opening night. But if you still have a lot of theaters shut down across the country, the box office is going to be not nearly as impressive. And it's really going to be a litmus test of what the new normal is, right? They keep hearing this expression, this is the new normal, right? The new normal, you got to be used to now, which is just like, most of it's like, okay, yeah, screw you and your hogwash. But it is, in this case, going to be a new normal, because the box office is going to take a long time to recover. It's going to take well over a year for the box office to get anywhere close to the normalcy that it had. And even then, its days are numbered, because as I had mentioned, pretty soon the box office numbers are going to mean absolutely nothing, because VOD is going to be the name of the game through all the streaming services. But Tenet, because Christopher Nolan's behind it, and he's saying, no, this is coming out in theaters, I think that Nolan's really one of the only filmmakers that I think is really passionate about keeping movie theaters open. So at the very least, it'll help theaters have a lifeline. How much of a lifeline, though, depends on what states are open, what amount of people are allowed to go in, and how many actually go because of restrictions. Because I know a lot of people in this chat alone who have made clear they will not go to any theater, even if they want to go see a movie, if they are forced to wear a mask. They've said it very clearly. I've said the one exception is if I can take it off when I sit down, then I will go to see Tenet opening night. But even for a movie like Tenet, if they told me and said, oh, we are forcing you to wear this mask all the way through the movie, I would not go. Luckily, that does not seem to be the case, at least officially from Regal. And Cinemark, I imagine AMC in their official policy also has the same thing, because obviously they got to sell something, right? Anyway, Hardwick says, it's been announced that Pirates of the Caribbean movie starring Margot Robbie and written by Christina Hodson is being made. Seeing how their last collaboration turned out, that is another case of failing up. It is. Christina Hodson's a terrible writer. She's also the same one that wrote Bumblebee. And I know that there's some people in here that say Bumblebee was good. No, you liked Bumblebee because the designs were great, the actual Autobots looked great, the Decepticons looked great. You liked the design. But if you go back to that film and you just pay attention to the story, that story is garbage. That story is terrible. And Christina Hodson or Dobson or whatever the hell her name is, she wrote that film. And she apparently has already gotten jobs to write other DC films as well. So she wrote Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey lost $30 million. Bumblebee didn't do that well at the box office either. And it's not because of Bumblebee necessarily. It's because it had to follow just the fact that they made way too many Transformers live actions with the Michael Bay nonsense. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. Margot Robbie playing a pirate in an original film, hey, that could work. But if you're and here's what's going to happen, because Christina Hodson, Dotson, whatever, she's a part of this group. She's a part of this ilk where here's the main premise. Hey, it's like Jack Sparrow, only she's a woman. That is going to be the driving factor. That's going to be the marketing ploy. And guess what? Every time they've tried it, it has failed. Ask Ghostbusters 2016, when the only reason it existed was to have female Ghostbusters. Ask Ocean's 8, when the only reason it existed was to have female Ocean's movie. That film actually did better than Ghostbusters 2016 did, but definitely didn't do as well as the other Ocean's films had. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Orange Eye Reviews says, also, thoughts on Phil Lamar, voice of Samurai Jack, calling for a double standard of voicing different races. He says he should be able to voice whoever he wants when whites can't. That is crap. I have not seen the interview or heard or read any official part of Phil Lamar saying that. But if that is the case, if Phil Lamar is saying that it's okay for him to do voices, basically what I'm gathering from what he's saying is that if you are of a different race, any non-white race is what I'm assuming he's saying, you can voice whoever. But if you're white, you can't. And if that's what he's saying, not only is he a double standard, that's racist in and of itself and ridiculous. So if that is indeed true, for shame. Eric Peralta says, they said Peacock will be free. Yeah, if it's free, that means the content's not going to be good. If it's free, what that means is it's likely just going to be like the CW, where it's going to be free the next day after release with ads. And I don't got time for that. Larry says, Seth MacFarlane is now with NBC Universal. Peacock may get some of his stuff down the road. I just hope they do not destroy anything dealing with the Orville, because the Orville is a great show. Super Anime Gamer says, I'm okay, thanks. Day hasn't gone how I wanted. Might have flunked a class. Well, I hope that's not the case. Carl Reiner news in Hong Kong got me down, but you and Az had great streams today, so I'm happy. Az always has great stuff, so glad that he was able to help. And yes, rest in peace, Carl Reiner. But you know what? With a lot of the recent news of different people in Hollywood passing away, or anyone really passing away, a lot of them have been older. A lot of them have lived full lives. So, hopefully they lived a good life. That's all I can do is pray for their soul and pray that they lived their life the best that they possibly could. Latino Slant says, Dracula, those damned method actors. Oh, man. Hardwick says, Margot Robbie and Christina Hodson each run their own production companies. They have teamed their studios up together to create a female-exclusive script, writing, and production project. Again, that's already pretty much setting it up to fail. Forever Sci-Fi is a member saying only someone of one race, of the same race as their character, can voice that character implies that every race speaks differently. How is that not racist? That's a great point, Forever Sci-Fi. That is an excellent point. And here's the thing. When you're watching a cartoon or an anime or something where there's voice acting involved, all you care about really is the voice. So if the voice is good and matches the character on screen, that's what should be important. Now, if the voice is meant to mock a race, likely that means the story or the movie is meant to mock a race, well, then that could be problematic. But again, you got to have those things both together. Otherwise, it's not an issue. Super says, yes, you need Monty Python Flying Circus must be preserved. If the woke crowd finds it, they won't be happy. I believe my parents actually own a copy of Flying Circus on DVD. So if I can't find it myself, that definitely would be something that I might get when I get back home. Member Larry says, Key Luke was Carradine's teacher in Kung Fu TV series. Again, I never saw those series, to be honest. Orange Eye Review says, I added the Green Mile to Preservation Project. Something tells me they will go after it, drops racial slurs, and shows law enforcement positively. They will come for it. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some that I think are more so on the chopping block than others. Like, I think we can all agree that a movie like Tropic Thunder is more susceptible. You can also already see projects and films and television shows that are already being censored. Like, they've already taken an episode of The Golden Girls down because there's an episode where they claim blackface even though all they're doing is wearing mud masks. So now women in a show, The Golden Girls, by the way, can't wear mud masks without sparking a controversy. I don't know how that makes any sense, but it is what it is, I guess. Nana Reaper says, also PCU, it's the 1990s version of Animal House. What does PCU stand for? Mirror Jeremy says, I find it funny that everyone in Hamilton is a person of color, but not the evil King George and the British. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. And again, knowing what I know about the show, that was done strategically. And actually, when that was originally being cast, they very specifically were asking for people of color for those roles. So it's interesting that sometimes you can get away with that if you're on one side. But if the other side tries it, then you can't. Again, I believe in true equality. I think what rules apply to one should apply to the other. Isn't that what true equality actually is? You know, if you get in trouble for this, the other person should also get in trouble for the same thing. Shouldn't that be how it is? And at the end of the day, shouldn't we all just be viewing each other as people? And as long as you respect me, and as long as you stay out of my way and allow me to live the life that I'm called to live, as long as I'm not hurting another person or myself, like basic principles, you would think. But oh no, now we have to cancel people because of an opinion. Larry, Princess Bride has a problematic giant. Yes, this is true. Yeah, Princess Bride, luckily, is a film that I own, so that would be easy for me to be able to get up there, for sure. All right, the chat has jumped on me once again, like it always does, over on YouTube. Let's see where we are over there. All right, so some comments were indeed skipped, and in fact, the first comment is a skipped comment. So, Super Anime Gamer says, skipped comment, if you're taking suggestions, have a shirt design idea, do a minimalist picture of your face with the phrase Beard Gang. Ooh, Beard Gang. I do like that a lot, Super. But I'm not taking active ideas because as soon as I say, oh yeah, I like that, then a bunch of people just start saying, oh, this, and then I'm like, oh, I can't do it. That's the reason why for people with the film preservation and television preservation project, I made a Google form because I'm excuse me, I was like, please, like, just put it there. You know, I'm not writing it down. It'll be there digitally. It'll be saved. It'll be easy to find, access, and it'll just be so much easier. But that is a good idea. But right now we've got a few ideas in the pipe, so we're gonna try and execute those first. But thank you for the idea, though. Maybe at another time. But let me jump up over to my DLive fam, who have probably been. We have 27 people watching on DLive. Ooh, something tells me we've got a lot of trolls going on in the chat. So again, sorry if any comments have been skipped by the trolling. Anyway, Phonemo, this is the most recent chat I have. So again, for the trolls that are ruining the DLive chat tonight, seriously, you have sad, empathetic lives, and I pray for your souls because don't think you have much going on there right now. Phonemo says, I demand all talking animals be voiced by actual talking animals. Again, that's the clown world that they're asking for. Peabody says, well, James Earl Jones voiced a white guy. Exactly. Are we going to cancel James Earl Jones because he did the voice of Darth Vader? Again, if we're using the same logic, we got to use the same logic. If you're going to make exceptions, then your argument does not hold water and you need to shut the hell up. Simple as that. If your logic is inconsistent, shut up. Go away. Exactly. Anyone remember Darth Vader? Captain Biffy 10, and thank you for the ice cream donation. Adam says, Gary, we need only Odin. Well, Gary's an awesome guy. Captain Biffy 10, and thank you for the 2 ice cream donations. I appreciate it very much. Captain Darkstar 57, thank you for the 3 ice cream donations. Thank you so much. Adam McClan, we all love you more. Well, thank you. Captain High says, gotta cancel all Disney animated movies that have talking animals because they aren't really talking animals. Again, similar logic there. Where does it stop? Does it stop? Can't stop, won't stop, as some might say. Can't stop, won't stop. Captain Biffy Tennant says, how sad Michael Jackson isn't still alive. He'd be in his element. Don't know exactly what that means. Peabody says, leave Bumblebee alone or we will all talk about Glass. Well, no, there's no need to because Glass is also a flawed film. So you lose, Peabody. You lose. Good day, sir. Mr. Peabody. Hey, Odin, what was wrong with Glass again? Oh, that's right. It sucked. No, didn't suck. The ending sucked. The ending absolutely sucked. The build-up for it was fine. Peabody, remember that movie you were promoting and so looking forward to seeing? I think it was called Glass and it sucked. Oh, Peabody, don't you be trolling now, too. Now Peabody's trolling. That's when you know it's bad. When Peabody starts trolling and spamming, Peabody, don't make me put you in timeout, man. Once was more than enough. How was that movie Glass written again? Oh, that's right, badly. Once again, half the film was pretty much okay. It was the ending that was terrible. I've never denied that fact. Bumblebee was a terribly written film from beginning to end. So once again. All right, well, I'm just skipping all of your comments then, if that's all you're going to talk about from this point. Adam says, I have Animal House if you need it. I don't know if I have that or not. Captain Biffy says, there's a guy in my neighborhood they call Mr. Glass, but I don't like the cut of his jib. Captain Emo says, did you really just say Mud Mask were just canceled? Yep. They took away and took down an episode of Golden Girls because they were wearing mud masks. And in the episode, they reference the fact that it looks like they're doing blackface. But they're not because they're wearing mud masks. So it's like, really? This is the clown world we live in now. Captain Biffy Tannen. I think it might be the crack smoking, though. It could be. It could be that. Definitely could be that for sure. Captain High says, cancel the Jolly Green Giant. He's not voiced by a green giant. There you go. That's all there is to it. Captain Will Gentry, no actual trolls ruining it for us viewers. I guess we've hidden them all. And yet, for some reason, I think they're watching. Again, I don't quite understand it. I hope that they're not just lurking around because they Or, again, don't know what's going on with that. Captain Biffy Tannen says, George Carlin joked about voice acting your own ethnicity in the 80s. Well, George Carlin was ahead of his time, no question about it. Phonema says, Darth Vader needs to be voiced by an actual Jedi who turned to the dark side. Superman can only be played by a Kryptonian. Amen. Princess and the Frog. The frog should only be allowed to be voiced by a frog. Adam says, just stick your tongue out at Copper? Is that what we're trying to say? Sorry was just having a bit of fun. Well, it was fun after the first or second time, but then you just kept going. And it's one thing if you're having fun with joking. It's another when your joke happens to be wrong. All right. Anyway, back over to my YouTube peeps. So again, some comments may have been skipped. It was 7:59 p.m. in the chat. It is 8:29. I'm about 30 minutes behind, and we do need to start wrapping things up because I cannot go long tonight. So I'm going to try and go through as many comments as I possibly can as quickly as possible. HyperX13, World War Movie Blog, the Odin Rebellion leaders, General Odin, the Valkyries, and Asgard versus the Turkish trolls and Nigerian scamming prince rebels. Tina, I'm supposed to go to Turkey on my Greek cruise in 2022. I think they're doing an Ephesus tour. I'll let you know about Turkey then. Boom. Yeah, Ephesus. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. Forever Sci-Fi says, EVS likes pies and Odin likes pizza pies. When's the crossover? It's a good point. He's busy, though. He's a busy man. Tina says, which with this SJW idiocy, Daniel Day-Lewis's My Left Foot Oscar for Best Actor would be stripped from him, whether he did a great job or not, right? But he didn't actually have any motor issues, so therefore it's offensive. Rob D, hey Odin, I read an article today that HBO Max is getting a huge update July 1st. One of the movies coming is Blazing Saddles. Yeah, and you know what? I guarantee you, just like they did with Gone with the Wind, I bet dollars to donuts that thing also has a documentary at the very beginning. So they added a 4-minute video to the beginning of Gone with the Wind to give a trigger warning. Would not be surprised if Blazing Saddles had at least a warning about the content of it. Here's a big update that you need to have, HBO Max, because again, that would be, tomorrow? Get available on Roku and Fire. Make the deals happen. Dear Lord, you're losing out on so much revenue. Tina says, hey, if no more superheroes means the end of woke MCU and tanks Disney, doesn't it? Yes, it does. If heroes are toxic, can't have Captain Marvel too. Forever Sci-Fi, Hollywood is so angering the average audience member that even when the movies come back, the viewers likely won't. Same with sports leagues. Another fair point. Rosetta Allen says, Odin, hope your day is going well. Hope yours is too. Hope you are feeling better. Hope you're resting up. Forever Sci-Fi says, it's noon somewhere. Gary. Is that his logic? Well, you know what? It's not good enough for people like me who have a schedule and stick to it, all right? When I say 7 p.m. Eastern time, I mean it. And very rarely do I go off time. Sometimes I do. Again, sometimes I do. But Gary is just, don't call it a nooner if it's not near noon. Bruce, who's a member of the channel, says, Hollywood is now calling the cops because the rioters are coming to their neighborhoods. Oh, now they need the cops. Oh, what happened to we need to defund the police nonsense? Gosh, hypocrites. Super says, the VA stuff is crazy. You're right. They should apply the logic equally, but won't because men are dominant and they're bigoted. You see the new Reddit rules. They straight up admit it. I know that apparently they've pretty much purged anything pro one political side over the other. So, Rosetta Allen says, well, I'm not streaming. Well, that's a good thing, Rosetta. That's a good thing. Odin, you got the juice now, says Eric. Let's see. Mike Martinez. Hey, Odin, I'm late to the stream. How are you doing? Doing just fine. Actually trying to wrap things up as quickly as possible. Eric says, the You Got the Juice reference is from Juice from 1992. I figured as much. Thank you. Mike Martinez. If Tenet gets delayed again, I'm going to be livid. Well, it's already been delayed a few times. Again, was it August 12th now? Rosetta Allen says, I won't go with a mask. Can't medically wear them. Yeah, what are they going to tell you? What if you have a medical condition? Are they just going to say, well, you got to go home? What's going to happen then? Gigamus, what if the theater gives movie-themed face masks? I might go if they give me a movie-themed face mask. If I'm going to go follow your dumb rules, make it worth my while. Yeah, might as well be like, hey, here's a free mask that features a movie. Chris H says, there are 2 theaters open in my area. I went to see The Avengers last Saturday, and we'll see another movie this weekend. Masks are recommended, not required. Yeah, I believe that is the case near my local theater. By local, I mean within 30 minutes. I still need to go to it. I've just had so many things planned and on my schedule. I have not been able to do so. Nano Reaper says, Bumblebee, great artwork and CGI, story was crap. Boom. I think that's a great take, Nano Reaper. Again, the artwork, CG, again, that stuff looks great. I would even argue the acting is fine, but the story is not good. Mirror Jeremy, if I have to wear a mask, I want half off ticket price. Boom. Michael Martinez, I'm hearing that The Conjuring 3 will get pushed back. I'm sure a lot of things will. Bruce says, they did it. Original pirate movie with Gina Davis called Cutthroat Island. It bombed, but I loved it. Thought she was great. There you go. Will it bomb again? Hardwick says, I do mostly like Bumblebee, but I do admit that it's flawed due to much of the writing. However, it's not just Bumblebee himself that's good. Haley Steinfeld's performance was great. Again, yeah, I will agree with you there. Haley Steinfeld's a great actress, so it wasn't her fault. It was the writing. Again, the writing is the biggest flaw of that film. So I think, and here's where I always try and go back to. If you enjoy a film, fine, right? If your subjective experience is positive, that's your opinion. But it is an objectively flawed film because the writing is not good. Just like in Glass, the writing for that last bit, right, the ending, is not well written and therefore is objectively bad. Gigamus says, I actually met Phil Lamar at Comic-Con last year. After hearing what he said, I'm happy. I didn't buy his $20 autograph years ago. I ain't going to support a woke jerk. Yeah, pretty much. Super says, speaking of Margot Robbie's Pirates movie, do you think Johnny Depp will ever get his job back? Hopefully. And I would actually say more so than that, I want Amber Heard to get justice. Before anything with Johnny Depp getting his job back, all I want is for Amber Heard to go to trial. And if the evidence is there, which it seems to be, that she gets punished for it. That's what I want. I want justice for these Hollywood celebrities that get away with so much. Rosanna Allen says, NBC Peacock owns Psych, something I still want. Jeremy Swiggs says, Odin, wait, weren't you the voice of the Russian kitty? I was. You've seen the video. You've seen the video, Jeremy Swiggs. Mikey Martinez, if they were to delay Tenet again, would an October 20 release benefit the film? Interstellar came out in November 2014. It was very successful. Usually the month and time in which a film comes out doesn't have as much impact as some experts like to say. Sometimes, it just hits at the right time. It just comes out like again, there's some times where a movie comes out during a month when it's normally historically not good for movies, and then it does very well. So it really just depends. I think Tenet will do well, whenever it comes out, as long as there are theaters open. That's the big thing. The big key for Tenet's success is it has to have theaters to be open in. Gigamus says, if people have to look like the character they are voicing, how will they cast the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other non-human characters in cartoons? Again, that's just the logic you have to start asking now. Hybrid says, that's really dumb of Phil Lamar to say, considering on the same show, the villain Aku from Samurai Jack was later replaced from Mako Iwamatsu to Greg Baldwin. Worked just fine. How ironic. And notice how the names there are very, very different. Micah Martinez says, I'd say push Snake Eyes from October 23rd to 21 and have Tenet released on October 23rd, 2020. I don't know. I'm just thinking. And again, they're going to release it whenever they're going to release it. And at this point, I don't buy any of the release dates now because if the theaters keep on getting delayed, because the movies keep on getting delayed, then when it comes out is going to be completely up in the air. Really. It's just, and at this point, it's like, it's getting very close to the point where I almost don't care anymore. It's like, just open the damn theater. Gigamus Prime, if this woke stuff continues, it will only be a matter of time until Darth Vader is, they say Darth Vader is that. No. Hardwick says, I remember, and then the chat jumped on me. I will be having to skip comments, though, because we are very, 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 very far behind. So please slow down. And by slow down, I mean if you've left a lot of comments already, please don't leave another comment. There's a couple people that leave like 1,000 comments. And then every time I ask, hey, let's slow down a little bit, you keep on asking. It's not nice. And you should know who you are. I don't want to have to start calling people out, but I will. Hardwick says, I remember there was a controversy over this scene in Mary Poppins where the characters have soot on their faces. Again, that's kind of nonsense that they are going after. Forever Sci-Fi, PCU was politically correct university, though the school in the movie was Portchester University. The movie was prophetic. Yeah, I've never seen or heard of it. Connor Delver says, do you think the drive-in movie theater market will continue to potentiate upwards? I would like to hope so. So many aspects of it I enjoy more so than the actual theater. I hope so. Hopefully more open up and they get more recent releases. I still need to go. There's one 15 minutes near me, but problem is, of course, because of sunset, they don't open until really late at night, and I have not found a time for me to be able to actually go where I don't have to get up early for something the next day. Super says, and more importantly, that Golden Girls episode was about confronting racial bias. I think it featured charters in an interracial relationship. Yep. But again, they don't care about context, right? It's just instant reaction. It's about, I'm angry and I don't care about anything about it. Oh, no, this is the image I saw, and so therefore let's cancel it. Nana Reaper says politically correct university is what it was stand for, but more was called PCU. Again, if you see someone else make the same comment, if you could not make the same comment, that'd be great. I'm not trying to be salty, just saying. Michael Martinez, I hope they don't enforce mask policy for very long. I understand the importance of it, but I don't feel like wearing one at the movies, and most people don't. Nana Reaper is heading out. I'm about to head out myself. Gigamus Prime says, would Spock be alien face since he is human playing an alien? I guess so. Michael Martinez says, I've only seen Unbreakable. Great movie. Unbreakable is fantastic. Split is also fantastic. Glass, I would skip it. Thanatos Felicitas says, the world according to Garp is problematic because the resolution of Garp and Garp's mother character. I've never seen it before. Chai Wolf says, you need Red Dwarf. Yeah, I've never seen it. Super Anime Gamer, they also came after an episode of The Office, even though the show creator says the show was satirical and the joke was to point out that blackface was wrong. It's so dumb. Exactly. Again, we live in a clown world now. Baxter's a member says, I know what's wrong with Hollywood. It's got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Baxter, I appreciate that very much. All right, I'm going to start skipping comments of people that have left a lot of comments. So Rob D says, do you at least pay Heimdall for his work? He's a bot, so I don't have to. Forever Sci-Fi, we need people to just say no to the woke people. No. It's very easy. Just say no. Michael Martinez says, I want HBO Max on Roku so bad I can't believe it's not on there yet. So yeah, HBO Max, get your head out of your ass, make the deals that you need to make, right? Just make the deals. Just get it on there. I'm sure the subscriptions you get will make up for anything that you're losing in price. Venom Burley 93 says, I have asthma, mask not great. Yeah, exactly. What do you do with the people that medically can't wear those for that long of a period? Super says, they did more than that. According to what I've looked at, they implemented new terms regarding bigotry, and they straight up said the rules won't apply to the majority, in quotations, Super says, about Reddit. Yeah, Reddit has died, from what I've been told. Reddit is no longer a safe space for freedom of speech, which is why you see a lot of these places like Parler has just blown up recently because of a lot of recent issues. Super says, in context, the new Reddit rules imply that discrimination, bigotry, etc. against white men or people will be tolerated. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Again, if you're gonna go against bigotry of any kind, it has to go both ways. All right? You have to treat everyone equally. There can be no special treatment given. All right? There can be no special treatment given. All right, we're almost there. Soul Assassin says, you can skip this comment to hurry up with the chat. How dare you, Soul Assassin? You knew I was going to read that. Rhaegar Targaryen says, what's next? Are they going to censor people, put a note before the Thor movies with a black Heimdall, the arguably dreadful Iron Man 3 for an English Indian fake Mandarin, Doctor Strange for Mordo? Yeah, again, a lot of things. The Ancient One being played by a white woman from Doctor Strange? How about that? But once again, just like what Super's been saying about Reddit, there's only rules for one side. They make rules for one group, and this is where it all comes down to, and you might not want to hear it. This is all about one thing. Everything going on right now, all of the madness, all of the craziness, I am telling you right now, wait until November of 2020, November of this year, Election day. That's what it's all about. Call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but I guarantee you a lot of the stuff that Hollywood's doing is because of that. A lot of the stuff that governors are doing is because of that. Because if the economy sucks, if there's violence across the country, and guess what? What can the president do? Oh, sends in the National Guard. Oh, guess what? Now they've got, he sent in soldiers to attack protesters, right? And you're coming from a guy, you're talking to a guy that is not even a Trump guy. It's so funny how many people think that I'm a Trump supporter. It's hilarious. It's hilarious how many people think that I support the guy. But it's also to the point now where they're so insane and they're so incessant that it's like, you almost might force me to vote for him. And I don't want to. I've been a third party person for the past 2 or 3 election cycles. I've been like, I'm voting third party no matter what. I've gone libertarian ticket. I've gone complete independent ticket before. But at this point, I mean, we are living in bizarro world, and I cannot help but see that this is a clear political move being made by members of the media, ginning up all of the anger, ginning up all of the hatred, race baiting nonstop. The politicians doing the same exact thing, and it's pissing me off. And I know I said I didn't want to get political, but y'all keep bringing this stuff up in the chat, and it's just getting to me. It's pissing me off, man. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it, because that's what it's all about. It's about 2016, and I hate it. Bruce says, I thanked Heimdall before. Good. Forever Sci-Fi. Tencent is one of the largest. Tencent is one of the largest stakeholders in Reddit. Say hi to the CCP or they'll ban you. Heimdall, thank you for. Cookie Geek says 70B. Hi. Hello. Hi. All right. And then I think that I've gotten everything. Right. All right. Whew. And then D-Live fam. Sorry. I'm going to try and get as many of y'all as possible. Caviv Tenant says, they really need 5-minute doc warning for Blazing Saddles fart scene. Yes. Vonemo, I've had HBO for days, nearly 20 years. They're losing me as a customer when they take away my HBO Go app on my Amazon Fire. Amazon, yeah, that whole process has been so stupid and so convoluted. Like, again, the rollout of HBO Max at this point can definitely be qualified as a failure. Vonemo says, theaters here in Arizona probably won't reopen until mid-August. They, with the bars and other places, were just told to close for 30 days. Yep, because we're seeing spikes. Adam says, thank you, and Avatar sucked. Yes, it did. Adam says, Trump is our president because Cobber votes for him. It's all Cobber's fault. Thank you for all the time. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's Peabody's fault. And again, very sorry for the politics at the very end of it. But as you all know, as I said before, I want to make it very clear, right? I'm an independent person. All right, I don't like either political party, but all I'm seeing right now is one specific party promoting, supporting. They're the ones that are kneeling at the Capitol, trying to pander to these asshats that are not protesting, but are rioting. And I don't think the other side's responding good either. I don't think the Democrats or Republicans are doing a good job right now. Someone needs to step up and actually do something, but both of them, see, here's the thing. The left is pandering to the madness because they think it's going to help them in their elections. And the right is not doing anything because they're afraid if they do act that it's going to hurt them in the elections. It's all about the frickin' elections. They're spineless. No one cares in politics apparently anymore about what's right. And guess what? That goes all the way up to the frickin' top. Every one of them. Every one of them. Captain K, man, thank you for the 2 ice creams. I appreciate it. Dean Krantz, thank you for subscribing as well. All right, that is going to be it for me tonight. Obviously, movie delays. Tenet to August. Mulan also to August. The film that I'm most looking forward to, Unhinged with Russell Crowe, to the end of July. AMC theaters delaying everything as far as their reopening goes to the end of July as well. As soon as we feel like we're getting close to something, it gets further away. Who knows where we're going to be tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Just doesn't seem like it's going to stop. So all we can do is get the physical media that we want while we can, back it up. Again, that's my plan, is to back up and preserve the things that we have, because the things that we're going to get don't look like they're going to be very good. So let us get the things and support the things and preserve the things that we love. And again, support physical media. And yes, Baxter, it sounds like the whole country needs more cowbell right now, more than ever before. Turn limits now. That's a great point. I love you guys. Sorry for the politics towards the end, but it's a frustrating time. It's a very frustrating time. And no, Biffy Tannen, Captain Biffy Tannen, I will never preserve Avatar. How dare you? How dare you? For anyone that I contacted tonight to contact me, please do so at your leisure. And before I end, I do want to shout out, because this is a new perk, if you are a member of the channel at the $5 or up level, which means you are in the army. You're at the Army of Asgard or Keeper of the Bifrost level. So a shout out to Bruce, Adam Avery, Latino Slant, Larry, the Bosco 2000, Twirly Wolf, Aiden Vickery, Jay Stowe, Kamikaze, and Out of Step with Reality. Thank y'all so very much for being my army and Keepers of the Bifrost. You guys freaking rock. Tomorrow morning, welcome to Asgard Channel. We have got a stream. We're watching Magnum Force, the sequel to Dirty Harry. First time I'm ever seeing it over on the Welcome to Asgard channel, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So please be sure to join us for that. We do show the films through the Discord server. That way anyone that doesn't have access to it can watch it along with me. So there is that option. I also will be doing an interview with Cameron Pasha very soon as well. So look forward to that making its way in podcast form. Probably will get that to Patreon Subscribe Star members first. Obviously YouTube members first as well. And then eventually make that one public. And there's also going to be an extra bonus podcast in addition to that, featuring a former student of mine going through a paper of his where he compares 1970s films with the subtext of Vietnam versus the remakes of those films in the 2010s under the context of the post 9/11 era. Should be a very interesting discussion. It's a very well-written paper that I read, 19 pages. It was an AP paper, so I'm looking forward to that. And because I know it's right next to me, once again, shout out to Darkstar57 for his awesome t-shirt that he sent to me. So again, once this website goes live, I will make sure to post it. So again, Duck Fisney Duck, hashtag Duck Fisney. Shout out to every member of the channel. Shout out to every single person that has been so amazing on DLive, on YouTube, every single one of you for putting up with me, for putting up with my nonsense. Remember, we are getting the drives. Again, thank you so much for letting that part happen. We're very close to reaching the original goal. Once again, I think we're about $99 away from the original goal. So anything else that we make at this point and past that point, we will, of course, put towards the project, towards buying the media that we need to get. Also towards buying anything else we might need, like an extra hard drive for the server or an extra drive for my computer, so that way I can back everything up there first, and then that way I can send it once I get everything set up. So once again, shout out especially to the donators tonight, Larry, Aiden Vickery. Thank you so very much for being incredibly supportive tonight. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. And DLive people, y'all stick around, and I'll try and take care of y'all as best I can. But Lord knows, I don't know what's going to happen with the supposedly 22 people watching. But seriously, from the bottom of my heart, much love to everyone in the chat. Much love, of course, to my Valkyrie, the Empress of the Universe, Tina B, and my General, Stephanie B, as well. I love you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to all of my June Patreon members: Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator, Brian P., David Bobrizik, Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benton, Tina Bojan, The DJD Show, and Tina B. And also to my Subscribe-Star members: Edgardo Martinez, John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod, the Beer Guru, and also Nebanon G. Adams and ZK Man, and Jonathan Carney, and Jacob Juice. Thank you all so much for being a member of Patreon and Subscribe-Star. And seriously, it really does mean a lot. Helps keeps the light on, helps me able to do things like the giveaways for my $5 and up backers on Patreon and Subscribe-Star, and also be able to put more stuff into the actual channel itself, including upgrading different components, whether it be webcams, microphones, things like that. All of that helps to support it, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you all so very much. Please, if you want to have your name shouted out or look at any of the other perks, which include things like indeed having access to exclusive 4K digital giveaways every single month, and also an exclusive podcast hosted on Patreon, Subscribe-Star, and also YouTube memberships as well at the $10 and up level, featuring John the Flick Pig Flickinger. Please check all of those things out in the description of this video. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.